at the spot where the lights are bright. We're laughing, shouting, holding on real tight. Just examine that old school sound in the rhythm of the night, where the fun's always found. Here we're rolling all the way, just let the good times flow in this pixelated land where the wild ones go. Cruising at the arcade floor, we're shooting in Gallagher Road. Yeah, we're glowing at the Pixel Show. Let's blast them at the game machine glow. Well, everybody playing, everybody scoring at the ballroom touring.
Hello. How is everyone doing tonight? It is Friday night, and it's 10:30, which means that, it's time for a drink, time for some nerd talk. And if you notice, my lovely assistant is not here. She, unfortunately, is not able to make it tonight, but I have someone else here, a guest that is just as lovely. Geeks of Rage.
Yeah, probably not quite as easy on the eyes, I'm sure, but I am here nonetheless.
So this is a fellow streamer, someone I've been watching for a while. I know a lot of the community may not know of him in our circle of our community, so I wanted to bring him on. Great guy, likes to play a lot of retro games. Likes to stream those too, and you do a lot of like achievements and things too. I've noticed on your stream. Yeah. But I wanted to have you on the show because we're talking about consoles through the decades, and I thought who'd be better than someone who streams retro gaming?
Yeah.
To talk about it with. So I thought it'd be a great time to have Geeks of Rage on here. But how has your week been?
It's been good, other than, I'm going to apologize in advance. This is not how I normally sound. I mean, I'm usually semi-congested because I have year-round allergies, but I got a little funk going on right now. So I'll be muting my mic off and on for hacking my brains out. But outside of that, the week has been pretty good to me so far.
Yeah. And if he gives any bad opinions, I can just mute his mic too, and we'll just say he's coughing. That's what we'll do. Just you're cutting out. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Technical difficulties.
Yes. Well, it's been a crazy week for me. Work's been insane. I don't know how work's been for you, but it's been crazy this week. So, and then the snow. Did you get snow where you're at? I don't know if you got.
Yeah. We got enough to where. When was that? Thursday? Yeah. Thursday, because today's Friday. I'm losing track of my days. So yesterday, I was actually the only reason I streamed was because I had to stay home with little man, and I was trying to get a quick stream in while he was taking his nap. And because my plant was closed for the day, and daycare was closed for the day.
Yeah, it's we got like here at my house, I think it was like 3 to 4 inches, and the interstate that we have right near our house, they said it was like a parking lot, and there was a big wreck that happened and stuff. So it was not good here at all. But I was glad I work from home, so I get to just watch the snowfall as I sip my coffee and not have to worry about about going out. So, but I did want everyone to get to know you. as a streamer. So tell us a little bit about your channel and what exactly you do on there.
All right, so I don't know if do you want me to give the full filibuster, or
Oh
do you want me
yes,
to?
man.
I can summarize it. I can do whatever you want, man. It's your show. I'm just trying to follow the
Oh, you give us
guidelines.
the full details, man. They
Okay.
want people to know.
All right. So I've been what I refer to myself as a failed content creator for the past 10 years. But I also try to live by the notion of if you're not failing, you're not learning. So there is a lot of stuff that I have learned over the years of failing. But my first channel, I'll just summarize. I used to do a hybrid of Magic the Gathering and retro games. And long story short, just a volatile community that that happened to be in the Magic side of things, and it kind of screwed up stuff. So I was like about to wave the white flag. I'm like, whatever. Um, and then during that span, that was a 3-year stretch, I was approached by somebody who I had done podcasts with off and on over that time. And this content creator was actually her husband who reached out to me, and they were wanting to do like a sister channel to her channel.
Yeah.
And uh, it was supposed to be myself and a few other creators. I can't remember the names now because it's been so long. Um, but it was supposed to be like this whole thing where, the beginning stages of it, she was supposed to come on with me once a month, blah, 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 to try to get some traction to it. And then once we hit the 1K mark, she'd, come on it, I guess, on an as needed basis or as wanted basis, whatever. Um, and then things kind of fell through. Promises weren't kept, and then I was basically running the ship by myself. So in my head, I'm sitting here going, I could just be doing this myself instead of doing it for somebody else. So we kind of had a falling out, and then exchange of words, yada yada. And during that time, I was donning a character which I did not explain earlier. And how that transpired was it was just supposed to be a one-off like joke, but at the time people kind of got behind it, and so it kind of just became its own thing, which was the original name was Bad Boy Roy. So which people call me Roy, which is not my real name. My legal name is Eric. So you can call me Eric or Roy. Either way, I don't really care.
Okay.
But when I decided to disband from that to do the channel I'm doing now, it was originally the reason why it's called Geeks of Rage is not just supposed to be a play on words because I do love the Streets of Rage series, but it was because I did have a couple guys that I was supposed to do this with, and it was supposed to be us being the Geeks of Rage, right? But literally after everything started coming together, it was like they jumped ship for various reasons. So I'm like, well, here I am by myself with the pluralized name, Geeks of Rage. But I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna roll with it. And for the first couple years, I honestly had no direction. Didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. I'm like, I wanted to do retro. But I didn't want to pigeonhole myself. Same thing like with modern gaming. I want to do modern gaming, but I just don't want to do just modern gaming. Uh, but now, fast forward, um, let's see, it was 2 years ago. I was a part of a group called Super Retro Force for not quite a year, which even though that fell through, the positive that I got out of that was I was able to kind of get a direction of kind of what I wanted to do on my own. And
Yeah.
uh, then I was like, okay, well, now I kind of have stuff written down now, which I was kind of talking about earlier, but I haven't done an update video because I keep sounding like this. But things will be getting more rounded, not just retro gaming, but doing what I would like to do because, like, I'm a geek at heart. I love movies. I love TV shows. Um, Obviously, I love video games. And I want to kind of do a little bit of everything. But I got some stuff in the works without going through all of it. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now, and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
And the big thing happened here it's been a couple weeks now.
Yeah,
You
finally.
hit your
Yeah,
1,000K subscribers, guys.
I know, right?
So that's where we're all after here. It's like once you get to 1K, it's like you could finally
Yeah,
take a breath and just kind of okay, let's just start focusing and polishing things up, and trying to get a little bit different. So I'm glad that you reached that goal. And guys, please check him out. It's going to be, he's always got content. When do you usually stream? Is it
so typically, the reason I don't schedule them is because I try to just stream when I know my son's taking a nap, because that's pretty much where I'm at. So,
hey,
uh,
fatherhood first, man.
right.
Fatherhood first, right?
So it's been as of late, like Saturday and Sunday mornings. Like it's kind of
Nice.
anywhere between 8 and 9 a.m., somewhere around there. And sometimes it might be in the afternoon. It just depends on how the day goes. But it's either morning or afternoon. But it's been typically morning. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see how things progress. Obviously, the older he gets and more manageable he gets, then maybe I can get a more lenient
Oh yeah.
schedule on streaming and whatnot.
Absolutely. That's always the goal. Always the goal. Let's say hi to people in the chat here. We got Geeks of Rage in the chat.
Yeah, of course.
Seth, he's in the chat. He's part of another group of great guys. They're called, the main show is Movies at Grandma's House. So they show kid movies and rate them, maybe older ones that we don't realize there still might be some stuff in. They rate for us on Grandma's scale. Let us know if there's something freaky in there that might scare our kids now. Jason Little Alien. Best moderator in the business. Happy Friday to all, and to all a good drink. Yep.
Yes.
PB&J Racing. I forgot the amaretto. Ah, man, that's kind of a key component to this tonight. I forgot the cherries. They're still in the fridge. I'll grab them here. Love the intro music. Are you a blues fan? Yes, I am a blues fan. I do like me some jazz and blues. That's why I made that. That was everyone that I knew. There's no offense to anybody. They did like the AI rap stuff, which I was kind of like, it is what it is. People like it, some people don't. I'm kind of like, if you want to do it, you can. But I was like, I'm gonna do something a little different. So I went more the jazzy route, like PB&J Racing, Brooklyn Menace, known as Gaming Menace, on his channel now. And television gamer, I wonder which decade he's going to choose. And television, Ace of Jackson Media, the best decade in gaming was the 1940s. Well, I guess what's that? What's the jack? Is it just jacks, or you bounce the ball and you grab them?
Yep.
Yeah, jacks. The amount of war games released the decades was crazy. Okay. Happy Friday, Galaga Guy. Thank you so much, Dark Realm Gaming. Burgertimebabe, she couldn't make it. And to be honest, our daughter is sleeping like garbage lately, and up all hours of the night. And so she had a really bad night last night. Burgertimebabe wanted to come on because she wanted to meet you, as well as she loves being on the show. But she was literally in tears because she was like, I'm just so tired. Like, I can't. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
you just go to bed. Mama needs to sleep. Super Dudes 5, 10 likes, hype. Thank you so much for that. We got Fat Boys in here. Hey, she's got a soundboard, guys.
That's the one button I love to smash. Fat Boys knows that.
Yes.
I had to. I couldn't help it.
Yes. Please do. We got Hollywood Polo here. Geeks, how was your night? Any fun weekend plans? Any fun weekend plans
No
for
fun
you?
weekend plans. Nah, no. Just usual dad stuff at this point right now. It's like if I'm not streaming, it's just hanging out with little man, trying to, teach him some stuff and doing all that jazz. Nothing fancy yet, especially because it's winter time, so it's not like we're really going anywhere. We're homebound anyways.
Yeah. We have a request for Creed. Are you a fan of Creed?
Who, me?
Yeah,
Oh,
everyone's.
no, but I can do a bad Scott Stapp impression. Can you take me higher?
My wife hates Creed, and so I bought a Creed shirt.
Yeah.
And one episode they had me singing Creed half the night. So Hollywood said it's his sacrifice. Let's
I
see
will say
here.
they got good riffs though, for real though. I can't remember their guitarist's name, but he got some nice licks there, so I can appreciate that.
There you go. The best decade in gaming hasn't happened yet. Oh, you did a raid. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. I think I said hi to everyone in the chat. Burgertimebabe isn't on, so we can sing Creed now. Yes, you can sing Creed freely with arms wide open, according to Hollywood Polo. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. Okay, so we got to talk with Geeks of Rage, got to know him a little bit better. We're about ready to start in on some gaming news, but before we do that, we gotta have our drink. And I know that Geeks of Rage is going to love every ingredient to this drink. I've already talked to him about it, but we are still doing what's called the Quiet Professional, and this is in honor of David Rosen, who just passed away. He was the co-founder of Sega, and I didn't know who he was. So I'm like, he was a quiet professional, and this is a drink called the Quiet Professional. So I was like, this kind of goes with that, you know. And so I'm gonna do this, whoop, so you guys can see my camera here, and I do have the recipe up there, or the drink mix up there. So we're gonna make it real quick. Make sure you have a big ice cube, guys. If you don't have a big ice cube, it's just not worth it. All right, we got 1 ounce of amaretto. So whatever amaretto you can find. I use Disaronno. Although if you're in the UK or Europe, make sure you're dumping out that Disaronno. They had a glass scare apparently over there where there was a shipment of Disaronno that had shards of glass in it, and they had to destroy them all.
Yeah.
So everyone was dumping them, unfortunately. And people were like, oh, you can just take it through a coffee, a coffee filter. And I'm like, I don't know if I would trust it.
Yeah.
1/2 ounce of good maple syrup. Don't use the cheap stuff. I mean, you can, but it's not going to be very good. 1/2 ounce of maple syrup here. And this is kind of like an old fashioned. I don't know if you ever had an old fashioned. It's kind of like more of a cherry version of an old fashioned. A little bit easier to make too.
I know my buddy likes old fashions.
Oh, he's got to try this. It's a way easier way of making it. And then we got 2 dashes of actually, let's do the 2 ounces of bourbon first. Bourbon, which I know you would quite enjoy, right?
Oh yeah, I'd smell it and just want to hurl and burl everywhere.
Oh, see, you'd hate my house.
No, it's all right, man. To each their own. No judgment here.
Yeah, it's bourbon's just one of those things, man. I don't know what. Well, my dad kind of got us into it. That's what we started drinking around the campfire. It was like, oh, try this bourbon, try that bourbon. So, but it's never led me astray like it has some other people.
Yeah.
2 dashes of bitters. Put that on in there. And then you're supposed to garnish with a cherry, but I forgot my cherries in the fridge, so it'll be all right. I just want to have a garnished cherry. But there it is, guys. Give a little stir, which I forgot my stirrer too. The wife isn't here to back me up, so we're gonna finger this bad boy. And that's the only time you hear me say it on camera, guys. All right. So there you go. The Quiet Professional. It is such a good drink. You can't really taste the bourbon in it. I will say that. So maybe you should just give it a go. Maybe you'd like it. All right. It says here, sounds like a bunch of weak people. Chew your glass properly and it's all good. Oh, he's a Jax, I tell you. Love the drink cam. I almost didn't have it. I don't know if you saw me struggling. I know you're kind of in the background whenever I was trying to get my cameras hooked up, but it would not work for some reason. So yeah. What are the top 5 or top 10 retro games? Oh man, he's asking the hard-hitting questions.
That's why I was like, man, off the top of my head, I'm like, I don't know. To me, it's like it's a loaded question because there's just off the top of my head, I'd have to really sit down and think about it. And you would think that by now, being a content creator and all, you would think that, oh, that's a low-hanging fruit video to do, but there's actually a lot of thought I'd have to put into that, which is why I haven't done one like that, like right now I've been doing stuff like trying to talk about my I guess you could say my top 5 from each year since the year I was born. Um, but because there's just so many games, it's hard for me to put a top 5 or even a top 10 because you know when you're talking about even just the 10-year window just from NES going into Super Nintendo era. I mean, there's so
Oh
much
yeah.
stuff between NES, Genesis, Super Nintendo, and then you start throwing in PlayStation, Saturn, N64. It's like it's I don't know, it's tough, but I know like if I had to go strictly off of just I guess um my how
I'd
much
say
I enjoyed certain ones, I guess I could probably go about it that way without trying to, talk about graphics or anything like that, but just overall enjoyment. I mean, I guess that's something that I could try to sit down and think about. But I could definitely, excuse me, off the top of my head, say Streets of Rage 2 is by far my favorite game. It's the most game I've played throughout my entire life. I've probably played through it thousands of times. I at least play it a handful of times, if not more, every single year. And I've done that forever. So I can honestly say that. And then, like, I put Mega Man 2 because Mega Man 2 is one of few games that, similar to Streets of Rage 2, I've played a lot enough to where I can actually speed run it. I don't do the glitches, but actually what I refer to as a natural speed run, like actually playing through the entire game as fast as you can without doing little hacks and stuff like that that skip you through and blah 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 blah. But those two are definitely at like they're the two that come to mind, like as far as how much I've definitely played the most, I would say.
Fat Boy says
Oh,
Uniracers.
he's always talking about some Uniracers. He loves it though. I mean, hey, I know he loves it. I know he just kind of trolls me a bit. Like whenever like I'm playing games and like I'll be like, hey, what do you guys want me to play next? Uniracers. Every time. Coming in hot. The Uniracers or the Barbie games just to troll me a bit. I love it though.
No. Says been wreaking havoc on this earth since the 80s, so my top retro list would be long. Streets of Rage 2 is the correct
Yeah,
answer.
it is.
So
So good.
you gotta come up with like your desert island ones. That's what you need to do. Sit down and say, okay, if it's on a desert island and I could only have 5 games, what's the 5 games I'd choose? So that's how you gotta just think on this. You don't have to answer now, but like that's how I do it. Like, okay,
I
if I could
definitely
play
would say
5
those 2
games,
games, Mega Man 2 and Streets of Rage 2, definitely are gonna be in that pile.
there you
Without
go. There you go.
I'll have to think about the other 3, but those 2, they're definitely in there.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Well, now I'd like to go into a little bit of gaming news. These are usually lighthearted articles before we get into the main topic here. But have you heard of Expedition 33? Everybody, I mean, that's like won every gaming award this year for, everything. I don't think they lost very much of anything, but something is very weird happening. Have you ever heard of Cory in the House, the spin-off Disney show?
No, I've not.
Okay, so That's So Raven had a brother, and that brother had his own spin-off show called Cory in the House, and he went to the White House, and he had a Nintendo DS game that was like one of those lame, like, little kid games that you get,
Yeah,
just for the IP.
right.
Well, Expedition 33 has the highest Metacritic's player rating, but for some reason people are trolling and giving this Cory in the House DS game perfect tens to try and
Oh my
dethrone.
god, that's so bad. That's like the ultimate troll. Let's just pick the crappiest game in the world and just
Yeah.
beef it up.
Yes.
So
So
good.
it says here the Expedition 33's title of Metacritic's highest player rated game comes under threat from semi-annual Nintendo DS classic Cory in the House. The gaming industry peaked with this game. Anyone else saying otherwise is delusional. So, yeah, it's at Expedition 33 is at 9.5 on Metacritic, and then this is at 9.3 right now. So the trolls are out.
They're always
IGN
lurking
gave this
about.
Yeah, IGN gave it a 3 out of 10. And then the Game Boys gave it a 4 out of 10. That's the only 2 official scores back in the day that were given for this game. And for some reason, it's coming as a threat to Expedition 33. So I thought that was funny. That's hilarious.
I'm gonna segue a little bit. We'll come back, but because you said IGN, I know people usually kind of troll IGN, but there's one thing they did, and I'm almost positive it might have been either the top 10 Sega or top 10 Sega games, or it was on maybe the top 100 list. I can't remember. But when I did a video a few years ago, and I was trying to do some like research on like certain stuff, like how they were ranked. They didn't even have Streets of Rage 2 in like the top 10 for like Sega games. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Like for the Genesis, like and so when I seen that, I'm like, you know what, your credibility is just gone. And then granted, yes, maybe I have a bias, but there's so many people I talk about that they even put that game on a pedestal because of the whole thing, not just because it was a good beat 'em up, but just, you know, the music was really good, the visuals were really good, just it was a well put together game for the time. So the fact that you didn't even put that in the top 10, you don't even know what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah, and if you got the time, please go and read some of the Metacritic's comments on the Cory in the House. I thought they'd be in this article, but they're not. But the people are like, this game changed my life.
Oh
like,
my God.
they're just like, they're really going in on it. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. So it's just
that's
like
the type of trolling I can get behind. That's so good.
Yeah, and it's kind of innocent, but kind of not. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Yeah. All right, that's my lighthearted one here. And then we got to talk about one other thing that I wanted to mention, which we talked about backstage a little bit here. Star Wars. We're both wearing Star Wars.
Yeah.
There was an announcement made, and this is from StarWars.com, because it's been kind of people are still kind of like halfway, like, is this really, happening? Is it not happening? I don't know. But according to StarWars.com, Lucasfilm and Walt Disney Studios announced leadership transition, saying here that Kathleen Kennedy is going to step down from Lucasfilm leadership. And then Dave Filoni will lead the studio as president, chief, and creative officer, alongside with, is it Lynwyn Brennan as co-president. So after 14 years, Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down. So there's been a lot of mixed feelings about this. I personally don't think Star Wars has been very good since the sequel trilogy came out. Like, there's been moments, there's been blips, there's been Rogue One, there's been a couple seasons of The Mandalorian, but overall, I don't think it's been very good.
Yeah, overall
since they took over. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on her leaving and maybe some of the stuff transitioning?
I mean, I think it's good because we all obviously, for obvious reasons, we know why it's good. But is it just going to be the same old thing, just in a different costume? Who takes the role? You know what I mean? So it's like, who knows? Well, I mean, the verdict's still out. We'll see what type of Star Wars content we get to see if they're going to right a lot of the wrongs that have happened. And are they just going to try to make good stories, or are they going to try to do just stupid crap for the sake of doing it and, ruining a franchise that, in my opinion, should be very easy to continue? And it's almost like it prints money, but they somehow make it lose money. I mean, make it make sense.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they haven't had a movie out, I think, since, has it been Solo was their last movie? Or was it, I don't know. It's been a while, though, since they actually had a movie, because I think they're kind of too scared to put one out, because they just keep doing TV shows, and the TV shows are getting to the point where it's like Marvel, where it's almost like there's too much going on, and you got to watch this show to get that show, and I don't know. It gets too confusing at a certain point, I feel like. But hopefully this is for the better. I don't care for Kathleen Kennedy and her direction that she went with it. on a lot of things, but maybe it'll get better, guys. Maybe this is a Ewoks celebrating in the forest type of scenario. We have Asa Jack says, I was excited about Kathleen Kennedy stepping down, but Dave Filoni hated Andor, which is one of the few good shows they had in the last 5 to 6 years. That's not good. That's not good. I didn't see Andor yet. Have you watched Andor?
No, I have not yet.
I heard it's I didn't watch the first season because everyone said it's kind of slow, and I was like, I won't watch it then. But then now season 2 is out, and everyone's like, whoa, you should it's such a great series, you should totally watch it. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I need to pick it up one day and just binge it. I have to binge stuff. That's just how I work.
Now, here's a question for not only yourself but the chat as well. Do you think we've gotten to a point with Star Wars that do we even really need movies? Like, should we just try to do shows based around certain things and kind of build off of those, or
I think it's I think with shows they can write the ship a lot more easier than you can with a movie. Movie's like a giant staple.
Right.
While you might have a bad season of a show, the next season you can kind of
bounce back,
right the wrongs, and you have more time to put some length between your mistake and something really cool. So it's I think you're right though. If they're going to do that, definitely have some of that going on.
I guess the only reason I brought it up is because some of the stuff that we used to hear growing up years ago, like when you would hear about book adaptations to be in movies, it's like, well, you get more detail in a book. With a TV show, you can get more detail than what you can with a movie. Because usually with movies, you're trying to summarize a whole lot in like a 1.5 to even maybe 2.5 hour frame, depending on what you're doing. Whereas with a TV show, you can get more detail and kind of spread stuff out and kind of get more build up. I mean, I guess that's just me. I prefer I love movies, don't get me wrong. But when it's something like this where there is a lot of depth to it, it's almost like it would be better off as a show versus just, one-off movies. But that's just me.
Andor kicked butt. This is what Eric from the One Show, Eric kicked butt. Filoni is a nerd's nerd, which is often a good thing for Star Wars. But in this case, he's dead wrong. With Star Wars, probably no new big budget movies. The one exception would be if they have some unique and awesome idea that would kill it as a movie. But that franchise, old and tired. Yeah, I think they need to get away from the Skywalkers. I'm like, you have this entire universe and millions of years surrounding the Skywalkers in both directions. Like, go back to the Sith and Jedi Wars, or go forward in time. And I don't know, it's crazy that they just stay right here.
Yeah, my buddy's always talking to me. Like I told you, he's a way bigger Star Wars fan than myself. He starts trying to talk to me about the books, and I'm like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. You gotta, read the books, dude. I was like, I ain't got time to read the books. I mean, you can give me like the cliff notes. I mean, help a brother out, but I'm not gonna be able to read them, dude.
I read a lot of the books, so I can go on. I actually did a whole show with another creator on rating the Star Wars movies, and that took like 2.5 hours. It was crazy because we just kept going on because there's so much stuff to talk about in Star Wars. But hopefully, this ends up being a good thing for everybody. Maybe her leaving, it'll start something different, and it won't be so much of what it is.
Yeah.
But now let's move on to our main topic, the best decade in gaming. So we're sticking to console gaming right now, guys. I was thinking about doing arcades, but I'm like, you have to do a whole separate show for just arcades, because I'm like, this is going to be too much to wrap our heads around, and I only have so much time. By midnight, number one, this guy's got to get to bed sometime. Okay.
Don't worry about me, man. I've pounded, probably, honest to God, probably 30 ounces of coffee. So I'm like, I'm wired to the bone, man.
And then we have another show after me, Late Night Live, which you will be redirected to, guys. So definitely keep that in mind that they are up next for your Friday evening. But how we're going to do this. So, dudes on dudes. I don't know what that's about, but there you go. Dudes Invasion. So I want to start a poll for the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I'm going to let that up while we talk about the 70s, 80s, and 90s. We'll go through each decade and let you guys vote. And then we're going to switch it up because I can only do four options in the voting. So I'm going to do 70s, 80s, and 90s. And then we're going to see who wins that. Then we're going to go to 2000s, 2010s, and then 2020s till now, and have you vote on that. And then once those two are done, we can vote on the last two that won those two different polls. That's kind of how I want to rate that. So, are you ready, sir?
About as ready as I can be.
Yes. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun, especially this one because I said this one's going to be a little rough for both of us, I think.
So you said this is just for console based, correct?
Yes.
Because the reason I asked, because this is just, again, there's a lot of variables. That's the weird thing about this.
Yes.
It's like kind of like a loaded question. There's a lot of variables. So if you were to ask me in general, I would almost go out and say the 80s because they had the arcade era mixed in there, which added a lot of depth to the gaming experience. But if we're going straight consoles, I'm going to say the 90s.
Okay, well, we'll talk about 70s, 80s, and 90s right now. We're in the 70s, so these are some of the main. And the 70s actually was a lot of different gaming consoles. Like there's no way I could have fit them anywhere, and all of them on this. There was just a lot of like offshoots of them. But these are kind of like the main ones that I found. And it's hard to get the proper sales in the 70s too, because a lot of things were like inflated. And then whenever they included like games, because I even went to games, like they'd include like Pac-Man sold, the arcade version and the Atari version, and it's like they put it onto one bundle, and it was like I can't really, I don't know how to count that, So 70s is a little rough. I'm not gonna lie for me personally, but was there any of these systems you had or anything that you have as far as any type of nostalgia or something you've discovered amongst these 70s consoles?
So the only thing that I was ever exposed to was the 2600, which we had. And that was my first gaming experience, period, as far back as I can remember. I played, I grew up, we had Pitfall, Frogger, Junior Pac-Man, Centipede, Pole Position 2, and I think that was it. I could be wrong, but those were the ones that I definitely know for certain we had. And, obviously I will probably have a bias with this because, as far as eliminating the 70s is because I don't have a lot of experience with it outside of the 2600 growing up until we got a Genesis in 93. But yeah, I'm not saying it was bad, but I guess again, I'll give my reasons for why I picked the 90s, but yeah, just on the surface level for me, I just couldn't say the 70s. Not saying there wasn't innovation there or anything like that, but
yeah. And you had the Odyssey, which was the granddaddy of all gaming, home console gaming here. Atari 2600. I really didn't have much exposure to Atari 2600, but with things like the Atari 50th anniversary game and stuff like that, actually made me had kind of a deeper appreciation for Atari and all that they did. There's a lot of history in that game, a lot of different games you can play on it. So if you want a little bit of experience, but not want to put a bunch of cash into the Atari stuff, I mean, that's always something you could look into. And television, there's another show that I'm on, Arcades Anonymous, Wednesdays at 9:00. And we did a whole thing on in television 2 weeks ago. And, well, it's mint only consoles. I'm sorry, JJ. Yeah. I don't know if I can edit it now. No, it won't let me edit it. It only lets me end it. Yeah, so it's in decade in console gaming. That's what I'm meaning here. So, let's see here. What's everyone saying right now? As far as, so we have from Atari and Television, ColecoVision, Commodore 64, Vectrex, Nintendo NES, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx, Game Boys. 80s killed it. So got to vote for 80s there, I think. It's been actually floating between the 80s and 90s pretty heavily. Like I'm seeing that. There's a lot of 70s. I would go 70s because they kicked it all off. Then the 90s because that's when consoles exploded. Yep. Then we have an 80s. It was a breakthrough of home consoles. 80s had the best arcades, consoles, movies, and music. Oh, he's throwing down the gauntlet, guys. He's throwing down the gauntlet. But that's really, I mean, I hate to cut the 70s short. I almost invited Stock Jock on here because he could talk for like an hour on the 70s gaming consoles. Like that's like his jam. He loves the 70s because that's his era of things.
Yeah.
But for me personally, 70s are that's pretty much all I know about the 70s. I don't have much to do with them. But moving on, let's see here. We'll get to more. All right, so now we have the 80s, which I only put a few on here, but obviously there is a lot more that happened in the 80s. But this I feel like is where foundation started happening.
Yeah.
In the 80s. Mario on the NES came out. You had Sonic, he came out, and actually they said Duck Hunt was one of the highest selling games on the NES. That's why I have that up there. So I feel like this is where, as other people were saying, that gaming really started to explode. And the NES, especially for me, is like a heavy hitter because they had so many games on that thing. Like if you try to get all the games, it's like, was it like 700? I think in the USA. Like
That's a
trying to
boatload.
It's a ton of them. And Mario. This is when I'd be at home and my mom would come up and help me beat a level on Mario. That's like my nostalgia for it. For the NES, and then playing Bad Dudes for the first time.
Yeah.
I was on the NES, and it just kind of was like my jam. But as far as Sega Genesis, did you play Streets of Rage? Did you play it on the Sega Genesis first?
Yes, I did.
And how was that experience? Were you like, this is the greatest game ever?
Dude, that game blew my mind because up to that point, on the Genesis, I'm trying to remember. I believe I had only seen Sonic, which already that I thought was crazy because of how fast it was. I was like, man, this is crazy because I went from I had played Mega Man 2 at that point, WrestleMania, Mario, obviously, and Duck Hunt, the dreaded Ninja Turtles game that scarred a lot of us kids growing up that grew up during that era. I'm trying to think, but I really wasn't exposed to too much Sega. So when we first got to Sega, we had Sonic 2. I had played Sonic 1 at somebody else's house. And then we had Aladdin and Miss Pac-Man. That's what we got for Christmas the year that we got the Genesis. But my dad's buddy gave us Streets of Rage 2. And I had no idea what it was. I just, like most kids, I looked at the back of the box and was like, oh, this looks awesome. But when I fired it up, as soon as you're seeing first, you got the cut scene that's starting off. So like you're hearing the music and I'm like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. And then I can even remember just when we went to the stage select and when that booted up, it was like, I got the chills already just from that. And I'm like, wow, like it was just so much. And then obviously when you see stage 1 start and you hear the music kicking, I'm going, what type of music am I hearing coming out of this game? Because it was like nothing I had ever heard up to that point. And then seeing the visuals for stage 1, like how all the colors were to make it like, the neon lights and stuff and the way they layered stuff, it popped so good. And then just seeing the enemies and your character, it was just, I mean, I know, again, I'm like a fanboy, obviously, but I'm just telling you, this is honest to God how my brain was like processing all this as a kid. And when I just seen all this, I was just like immediately just like sucked in and was like, holy crap, this is amazing. This is literally like an arcade game on my TV. Like that was the first game that gave me that experience.
That is awesome, man. Awesome. I don't have much experience, honestly, with the Sega Genesis whenever I was a kid. Now I've played a lot of games on it, but as a kid, my cousin had it. And I remember playing Mortal Kombat on there. and getting in trouble because my mom caught us playing Mortal Kombat on that system because we weren't supposed to be playing it on there. Other mentions, trying to see here what else was on here. It says Atari 7800 also was 1986. The Turbo Graphics, I don't think I have that on there. That one sold 10 million on it too, and then the Sega Genesis. So I've been playing Sonic 2. I mean, that also was definitely different for me because you're used to Mario. You're just going across the screen, kind of hopping and stuff. But whenever you hit Sonic and you're blasting all around the screen, going through loops.
Yeah.
I mean, experiencing him, and then he had the whole. They're supposed to, or they were trying to appeal more to like teenagers and be a little bit more gritty with their stuff. Just the way it just felt like the whole system was like this power brick. Like it was just cool. The whole thing is just supposed to be like slick and cool and like, that's what the edgy kids play,
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked too because that's kind of what was getting people to buy it because kids wanted it. There was something here from, I always say your name wrong. That's why I haven't. Is it Devs Stromega? I don't know how to pronounce it, but honorable mention to the Sega Genesis. It scared Nintendo so much they ran to Sony for help, only to backstab them and inadvertently lead to the birth of the PlayStation. So crazy how that all worked out. I knew that between the Nintendo and Sony thing happened, and Sony left and made their own.
Then, ironically enough, Sony's what killed Sega.
Yeah.
How freaking ironic is that?
They just want to put a DVD player in that Dreamcast. But anyways, it's like that would have done it, man. They just need to put a DVD player in there. But and then as far as I had an NES, I still have, I think like 125 NES games, and I still play that. Ninja Gaiden or Gaiden, depending on
I say it's Gaiden. That's what I've always said.
Yeah. Yeah, that one, trying to beat level 2 as a kid was an accomplishment.
Oh, yeah.
And then, obviously, I said Bad Boy, it's Kirby. Love playing Kirby on mine, too. And then, obviously, one of the best games of all time, Super Mario Bros. 3. That was like, I don't know why, but we were like addicted to that game forever. And we would play that so much. I don't know how we used to beat it because I tried to play it recently, and it was like that last ship with all the things going off. I was having a tough time as an adult. And I'm like, how do we do this as kids? I don't know. It just amazed me. Do you have an NES growing up?
No, I did not. But it was so funny. So in our neighborhood, it was like I had a Genesis, but another neighborhood kid, he had like the Nintendo stuff. So I would play Nintendo stuff at his house, and then he would play the Genesis stuff at my house. But that's how I got exposed to Mega Man 2 and the Ninja Turtles game. And ironically enough, I'm sure that I'm not the only one that had this kind of experience, but you guys have like I guess you could say like neighborhood kids group as far as like trying to play certain games and get to a certain spot, like if you got stuck, you had like one kid that you'd be like, if we're stuck here, we can get Joe over here and he'll beat it or whatever. Well, that inadvertently ended up being myself, and I don't know how, but it happened. Like the first thing it was with Mega Man 2. None of us could figure out how to beat Wily 1, and then I ended up figuring it out eventually. And then same thing with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. None of us could get past the dam level. And then I ended up figuring out the pattern for where all the bombs were at. And but I got my NES experience with him. And I got a lot of games I played. Trying to think, Excite Bike, obviously, Mario Duck Hunt. Dang, what else did he have? That's how he played WrestleMania. And then, of course, some Super Nintendo games as well. Mega Man X, I'll never forget that. The day I seen that was another one similar to Streets of Rage. When I first saw Mega Man X, holy crap, my mind was just like gone. But,
Man, I'm trying to see the poll here. Okay. Well, the 70s are not getting much love, guys. You better keep voting. Poor Stock Jock.
Yeah,
It's not getting
there's
much.
gonna be a bias, I'm sure, because like I said, you got people like myself. Not saying that I can't appreciate it, but I don't have I can't vote on something I don't have a whole lot of experience with.
Yeah. Hey, Joe Cade's here. What's up, Joe Cade? Pleasure to see you. Fat Hog. Where's the 85 to 95 options? Best 10 years, hand down. Where we're going by, that's what makes it a little bit difficult. We got to
Right.
get that entire decade in there. All right, so let's move on to the 90s. So there's a lot of systems. I did not include the handhelds because if I went into the handhelds, it was going to get really messy because you had the Game Boys, you had the Game Gears. It just was like, okay, I gotta like cut it off at a certain point. But in the 90s, there was tons of stuff too. The SNES, obviously, you had your PS1, your N64. The Dreamcast actually came out in the 90s too. Sega CD/Sega Saturn was also in the 90s. I mean, there was a ton of great consoles that came out in the 90s. Honestly, it would be really hard for me to choose. I'm glad I'm not voting between the 80s and the 90s because N64 for me, like it has, and so same with the Super Nintendo, it has a special place, in my heart as a kid growing up. Those were the two consoles I played the most. And then the Dreamcast too, that was like, they just would have put a stinking DVD player in that thing, man.
Yeah.
That thing, it would have done so well. Crazy Taxi on there. I would actually consider buying one just to get Crazy Taxi to play on the Dreamcast. Then you had the Sonic games, Sonic Adventure with the, that was kind of a cool thing that I always played too. Your PS1 had tons of games on it, different games you didn't get anywhere else. But yeah, that's a little bit of my take on it. I mean, what's your take on the 90s consoles? Do you have
So
any memories or nostalgia for in here?
absolutely. So
Just a little bit.
yeah, this is where I could go on a filibuster, and I know I will do my best to summarize because I know I can do a filibuster with the best of them. But I go with the 90s, and again, it's not me throwing shade at any of the other decades at all. It's just the innovation. I just thought, like, when you go through the progression of things, it was just that 10-year window from 90 to 99 was huge. I mean, not even just
Yes.
from a graphical standpoint, just the game
Oh, yeah.
presentations in general were just insane for the times. That's a huge, huge leap. And the quality too. The quality of games, I mean, I'm sorry, but the quality of games, you could probably, I couldn't put a number on it, but minimum, you're talking minimum probably 500 games that you could throw at a list and they would all be bangers, just and at least. I mean, but it's just there was so much, and I enjoyed like when I was growing up, I used to play a lot of RPGs as well. So like
Yeah.
the RPG experience was really good, even coming out of the 2D going into the 3D era. Like it was just really good. Trying to think, just God, I love the PlayStation. The
Oh, yeah.
PlayStation 1 was just
That's what makes it so hard. It's like
so good.
there's so much goodness in the 90s.
Yeah, as much as I love the Genesis too, it's like, but it's like everything. It was just stacked, and then the N64. So I don't want to go down this rabbit hole because everyone always goes 64 PlayStation. I always say PlayStation. Not saying that the 64 didn't have great games. Again, I'm looking at the overall quality of games and number of bangers. Which one had the most? PlayStation crushes the N64 in my opinion, but that does not discredit the 64. Like I'm saying, it's a bad console. I love the N64, but if I had to go tit for tat to talk about which games, like how we were talking about on a deserted island, which one am I taking? I'm taking the PS1 every single time.
Yeah. 1980s, everything was better in the 80s. All right, let's see what people are saying here. See if they're agreeing, disagreeing. Stock Jock, I gotta find his comment. I hate you all. I think he's the only one who voted for the 70s.
Oh man.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah. Oh, anyways, PlayStation 2 is still my favorite video game console of all time. The most variety and a huge game library. Absolutely. 70s were pixelated stick figure games. 80s kicked off better graphics. Yes,
Yes.
especially for home consoles.
Yeah.
But you gotta look at this too. 90s. I mean, look, you're starting out with like the SNES,
Yeah.
and you're ending on the Dreamcast. It's like that's a huge,
A huge
leap.
leap.
I mean, in that 10 years, I mean, it just
And even
took
like
off.
I've argued with people, and again, this could just be bias because this is the era we grew up in. But people like to clown on the Polygon era, but it's really it could have been worse for like real
Yeah.
like first gen trying to really dive into 3D. I know people would say like, well, you used to have like the wireframe 3D stuff like on some of the older stuff, but I'm talking about for real 3D, like you're trying to really put depth into it, not just grid stuff. And
Yeah.
it could have been way worse, and it was very playable. Yes, there were some things that kind of made things a little clunky at times, but overall, the experience was really, really good and has stood the test of time. At least in my eyes, there's not many games that I look at and say, oh, this didn't age well. Whereas there
Yeah.
are some games that sadly I did enjoy when I was a kid that were maybe from the 80s or even some that were from like the early 90s that I'm kind of like, yeah, it doesn't hit me the same way.
Yeah, and there's almost some games that I'm scared to go back to because I'm worried that'll happen. Like I'm like
It'll
I have my
happen.
nostalgia,
It will.
I have my nostalgia glasses on, and I don't
Yep.
want to go back and actually play them and then be like, oh, this is actually not that great of a game. But I just remember playing all the time because it was the only option I had at the time to play. So that's why some what was the Jet Force Gemini I went back and played, which I used to love that game. I went back and played it, and I was like, I just don't feel it anymore. Like it's just not very good to me. I just didn't. People are gonna be like, Jet Force Gemini wasn't Jim. That's what I want to get now. That game's still great, but I just did not. I just currently do not care for how it plays. But just to list off some of the '90s games, our consoles that came out, we have Super NES, Philips CD, Sega CD, the 3DO interactive multiplayer, Sega Saturn, Sony PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and Sega Dreamcast, which only Sony PlayStation, it says, sold 102 million. The Nintendo 64 sold 34 million, and Sega Dreamcast sold 9 million. So that just shows you kind of where they sat.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I always just feel so bad for the Dreamcast. I just feel so bad. Because it was past its time. Like I wanted it to work.
I know, so did I. I was one of those people too. I was like, Sega's coming back, yeah. And then it didn't. And I'm like, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to the 2000s, guys. This is also where it starts getting like, I don't know what I want to choose. So before we do that, let's close the poll here, guys. Get your last votes in. We're going to see here. We have 26 votes and how many? 25 in the chat. So I think that's the most votes we're going to get here. We have the last place is the 1970s with 4%. And in second place,
70s.
we have 42%, the 1990s, the winner being 1980s with 54% of the votes, guys. So 1980s is our old vote. We're saying that this is the best of the old, oopsie, wrong one. The best of the old is the 1980s. If I can get to the right one, I got too many of these slides. There it is. Yeah,
it's all good.
It's like, yes. So 1980s, guys, you're claiming is out of those 3 decades, that's the decade you would choose for that. So let me get the next poll up here. Best gaming console decade. Let's say that. I'm going to add in here. We're going to go 2000s, 2010s, and then 2020 to current, because we're only halfway through this decade. So to current. So Let's start this poll. No, exit out there. There we go. All right. So now let's move on to the new. Within the last 30 years, let me get to the right. Let's see. The new. So this is the 2000s. A lot of stuff happened in the 2000s. Honestly, this would be a hard one for me too because 2000s era, you had your PS2 and your PS3. You had your Xbox and your Xbox 360. You had your Wii and your GameCube. This is a really rough one for me. Like I don't know. This is my childhood here, like 2000s. You know, I was born in '88, so I kind of grew up on gaming. Then like 12 years old in the 2000s, it's like this is whenever I was really playing video games. So what do you think? What's your nostalgia with this stuff? If you have any at all, what's the system of your choice?
So this is, see, because of how the decades are, I'm going to go off of when these things were released. So I got to go with the 2000s. Now, this is where, you know, this is why I said it's kind of a hybrid answer because technically there is a we'll say 7-year gap. So from 2000 until 2006, I really didn't do a whole lot of gaming outside of emulation because I was in high school from 2000 to 2004. And at that point in time, I was heavily involved with skateboarding and recreational stuff and not being the most upstanding teenager citizen I could have been. So I was a little preoccupied and wasn't really worried about video games at that point in time. And then 2005, 2006, still same thing, was still skateboarding, but I was working and didn't really play too much. But about halfway through 2006 was when I was introduced to God of War on the PS2, and my mind was blown. I was like, oh snap, because obviously, you know, I like beat 'em ups. So I mean, my buddy's like, oh, you're gonna love this game, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I played it, and then I got a PS2, but sadly, I only got a PS2 for it was not quite a year, and then I got the 360, and that was, honest to God, that was probably the overall best gaming experience for like the next, I don't know, 5 to 6 years. I will say that was probably, those years were probably like my favorite overall experience that I got from gaming. But like obviously the 90s are near and dear to me, but if I had to really look at just the quality of a gaming experience I got, it was that, because you know that was my first exposure to online gaming, and to me that was the best era of online gaming before it just got completely trashed with cheaters and everything else. So you actually got a good organic online experience and really got to push your abilities in certain games when you're playing against people, depending on what you're playing. And you know, it's just, again, I won't go on too much longer, but I'll say the reason why I said it was a hybrid answer is because obviously the 360 era of playing for me bleeds into the 2010s. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like both, but I'm going off of strictly when these consoles were released. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. Now, for me too, this is like whenever the console wars, and for my generation was really on the hype of things, where it was like PlayStation versus Xbox, and then Nintendo was doing its own thing over there. That's usually what it was. But I remember being on GameSpot, like, my GameCube is so cool, you know, like as you did back then. PlayStation sucks, Xbox is better. You know, you did that stupid troll stuff that you did. But GameCube was the first game system I ever bought with my own money, because those used to be like $100. You could buy one. They go on sale, and I got Zelda. I got Ocarina of Time and is it Majora's Mask? I always forget how that's. But like there was a GameCube version of that on disc. Those came free with it.
No, really?
And and I wish I would have not sold it to GameStop because it's worth some money now. but so I was a big fan of the GameCube. That being my first system I bought myself, and then Xbox. My parents got us an Xbox as a surprise one day. Love that. The 360, like you said, it just was a great experience. Playing Halo, especially even with the original Xbox, we had those kind of like LAN parties. People bring over their Xboxes, and you'd have 16 people playing on one map with 4 different TVs. Like that was so much fun. And then the Wii too. The Wii, it's like people come over. It's like a party system. You play bowling. I mean, this was like, to me, top tier gaming. Like this is whenever like it was like this was the best to me. Like I felt like graphics weren't crazy where I took 400 gigabytes to play the game, but it still was like a fun game. And I was really into Star Wars during this time, like super into Star Wars. I was reading the books, and Xbox had the best Star Wars games during this time. I mean, they were just hit after hit after hit. KOTOR 1 and 2, Battlefront 1 and 2, Republic Commando. They had the Star Wars Episode 3 game. I mean, there was just Starfighter game, I think, was on there too. I mean, there was just game after game after game for Star Wars. So this just ignited my Star Wars fandom even further to have an Xbox. Like it was crazy. So I'm passionate about this this decade. This is like my decade.
It, man. I get
it. Yeah. So this is honestly, if I had to choose to go back to, I don't know though. It's so hard, man, because the NES. That's like my other favorite system is the NES. So it's like, I'd hate to. I don't know. It's so hard, guys. Headache discussion. I legit cannot do it tonight. Sorry. All right. Well, we'll see you next time, Meatball Saucy. Started PC gaming in the 90s. Didn't go back to anything console until early 2000s.
I did get introduced to some PC games, though, throughout high school, which I did play periodically, which was Age of Empires 2, which was amazing. Diablo, I got introduced to that series when I was in high school, and Counter-Strike. But I never got to play Counter-Strike at my own house because our computer couldn't handle it, but I did get to play it at a buddy's house.
I think, well, as far as and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but isn't the PS2 the most sold console of like all time?
I think so. I thought it was.
I'm pretty sure that was the only thing I can think come close to is the Switch, because the Switch they kept that going for so long. It's like 10 years later, there's still a Switch you could buy.
Just so good. I mean, it was though. It really was. When I started going down the rabbit hole to try to, recollect stuff for the PS2, I'm like, holy crap, there's so many great freaking games for that. So many great ones. And the good thing is, gonna plug the old retro achievements here. There's retro achievements for PS2 games, and that's what's getting me going back to fire up that library to try to check out some games that I missed out on.
Yeah, opening the 1064 on Christmas, classic big gift moment. Oh yes, core memories. My mom tried to hide our N64 in our station wagon, and we found it, and so they let us open it. They're so mad. She's like, "You found it! I want to take it back." But she didn't. She's like, "You can just have it, I guess." We ruined it for her. Look at Simple. Only 2 consoles were goated by the notorious Big in a song, and that was Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Hey, there you go. Full disclosure, I work for NBA 2K TV, but I love playing all sports games from 1995 to now. Such good memories. Yeah. All right. We got 20 minutes here, so let's move on to the 2010s. So this is where things get kind of weird. I don't know. It's doesn't happen until 2013 whenever we get the PS4 and the Xbox One. And we get the Wii U in 2012. And it's kind of like, if you notice, there used to be so many consoles. You start in the 70s and there were so many consoles I couldn't even put them up on the screen. Then there was, the 80s and the 90s where there's like tons of consoles everywhere. 2000s, there's still a lot. But then you get to 2010, and it's kind of like we're kind of winding down here. There's not too much going on. So We had the Wii U, which was an incredible flop for Nintendo. Then the PS4, Xbox One, which they named it the most confusing thing ever. And then we had the Oculus come out as well as the PlayStation VR. So I thought I'd include those just because they were kind of consoles, with the virtual reality stuff, because there wasn't much to put up here. So I was like, well, I guess I'll throw in a VR thing. And this is honestly whenever Xbox kind of took we're seeing here. It was a massive brain fart by Microsoft. Yes. That system's kind of where it started stalling out a little bit for me with Xbox, and it hasn't gotten much better. How about you? Your 2010s?
So this was another thing, like similar to the early 2000s. So I got the PS4 at launch because I was like, yeah, I'm going to get this thing. I'm going back to PlayStation, because when I got the 360, I got roped into it because I originally wanted a PS3, but all the guys I worked with were like, no, man, get a 360. You got to get that. How are you going to play games with us if you got a PS3? So I was like, all right. So I got the 360, but I have no regrets. It was a great console and I enjoyed it. But after that, I was like, I'm getting the PS4. I'm going back, baby. We're going back to PlayStation. So I bought it. And then with my job, stuff happened where I was just working crazy amounts of overtime. So I had like zero time to play games. Like I'm trying to go back and buy games for the PS4 just because I didn't get to play too much. So it was like, I got this console. My playing time was very limited and pretty much missed the boat on it. And it sucks that I did, but that was just the reality of the situation. And then by the time with my job, when we were trying, finally going back to, I guess you would call it normal working hours, to where I could kind of balance it, work and play out. It was the tail end of the PS4 era going into PS5. So then it's like, and then there that goes. So
Yeah. Well, there was one huge highlight, I think. PS4, a lot of people praise the PS4, but I think the biggest banger to come out of here is that Nintendo Switch, man. That thing, I played that more than anything else here. I played that more than anything else until I got my Rogue Ally.
I do have a Switch as well.
Yeah, and to me, it was the best of both worlds. Especially, I'm someone who likes to have, I don't know, I just like to have the full access to whatever I'm playing. And so, I guess a weird way to put that, but like I have to be like in my own headspace. So after you get married, and stuff, your wife kind of wants to talk where you're trying to play on the big screen TV, and then I got kids and they want the TV for Miss Rachel. And so then it's like the Switch was perfect. It's like I finally got something that I could put in my hands and just sit there and get lost in, and it'd be okay. It's not bothering anybody else. So that was, to me, I don't know. What do you think is the greatest Nintendo console? Because I honestly debate between, for me personally, NES or the Switch, because like the Switch is just, to me, just groundbreaking for what it was.
So again, this is going to be probably biased for myself, but because I'm trying to just go off of what I've gotten the most experience out of and what I've played the most games on. And for me, it's the Super Nintendo, because I've played a boatload of games on the Super Nintendo, and a lot of them were really, really good. There wasn't, out of the games that I have played, there wasn't too many where I was like, this game, sucks or whatever. Like there was a lot of great games for the SNES, and that's where emulation came into play. Like I said, I did a lot of emulation towards the latter part of the 90s, and I did a lot of emulation on SNES and Genesis. Obviously, due to PC specs back then, it's not, I don't even know if they would even be able to handle, if there even was an N64 PlayStation emulator. I don't even think it would be able to handle it, but yeah. But I definitely, for me, it would have been the SNES.
Mike Hawkarts says, to me, the 360 was the last console that Microsoft put any effort into. After that, it became all about Gold/Game Pass subscriptions.
Yeah,
I can kind of agree with that. Like, it's pretty much, they're just floating by kind of thing. Buy them and Virtual Boy can't argue with the greatness of the red screen. That's his favorite. Oh, Ace of Jacks is a kidder. All right, let's move on to the 2020s so far. So this is what we have now. So we have the Xbox Series X, and then we have the PS5. Recently, the Switch 2, and then the MetaQuest 2 and 3 came out in the 2000s. So if you're into the virtual reality, which I have gotten into the past year or two, I've been into that stuff, and honestly, it's pretty fun. We play a lot of walkabout golf. Always a good time on there. I'm more of an Xbox guy still, even though they don't deserve it at all. I'm like, they've done so many terrible things to this company, and they continue to do terrible things to this company. I can't even defend them anymore. They're just awful. They're just awful all the time. But I'm still more of an Xbox guy than I am a PlayStation guy. But yeah, I mean, there's not much nostalgia here because it's currently. So, any thoughts that you have as far as the current console?
Well, the only one I have is a PS5, and I'll say, not saying it is a bad console, but this was the console. Not saying again because it's a bad console, but this was the console that made the light bulb go off on my head. Like, I don't need to buy another console because I felt like I bought it, and it's just been a giant paperweight. And
where's the games? Where's the games, guys?
I got some games, but it's almost like it's because this is a whole other subject, which I'll be talking about at a later date. Why, in all honesty, my personal opinion, we don't even need to make games anymore. We just don't.
Yeah,
we're making them for the sake of making them. There's so many that are already released. You'll never play all of them. And that's just me. But I mean, I know people are all about innovation and they want new. Look, if you like that, that's fine. But just my personal take, I think we're at a point where it's like, I'm good. I'm good with what we have. And I probably, unless something insanely groundbreaking happens, then maybe I'll buy something. But I can't. And it pains me as a gamer. It pains me that to know, like, I'm okay with not getting whatever the latest and greatest is. And, I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. I'm good with what I got. And then that's it. And when it comes to VR, I can't handle it. Like, I played Resident Evil 4. I enjoyed it, but I only played it for about 30 minutes. And I had like really bad, like, my head was all wom. I don't know how to describe it. And my stomach felt kind of off. Like, I didn't get sick or anything, but I just felt so off. And I was like, if this is how I'm going to feel doing this, I'm just not going to do it. And then my buddy's like, oh, you got to build a tolerance. I was like, I don't think that's good for you, dude. Like, I don't know. I was like, I think, as much as I enjoyed it, I don't think I'm going to do damage to my brain or whatever the hell else I could be possibly doing just to play a game. I'm okay.
Yeah. We have Atrium Fanatic. Gaming graphics have pretty much reached their peak. Just not the same excitement anymore like the early years.
Yeah.
I don't need nor want graphics that look like I walked outside. I don't want GTA or fighting games looking any better than they already or possibly do. That's what I've, then they make them, again, like 300 gigabytes so the grass looks real. And I'm like, I don't care if the grass looks real, dude. Like, it's nice, but if I could save a couple, 100 gigabytes on my my Xbox, I'm fine with it. Like, I don't need all this space taken for that. But
do you want to install this game? 5 terabytes.
Yeah, it's like, Why? It's looking like like a Toy Story movie that you're playing or something, like Pixar. That's what it is. Pixar. It looks like a Pixar movie. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and end the vote here. It's pretty. It's pretty much one-sided. Tied for last place are the 2020s to current and the 2010s. 2000s being the winner here of the new consoles. obviously.
I
So
would have
let's
been
do
shocked
one.
if it was anything else.
Yeah, let's do one more poll, and let's say winner takes all. And we're gonna do. This is gonna be tough, guys. For the 1980s versus the 2010s. So we have, not 2010s, 2000s. My bad. So this is your two top votes, and we're gonna let this ride for a few minutes here, and see what you guys think. So
Oh,
obviously
man.
we have the NES and the. Let's go back to that one here when we can find this again. Let me see. It'd be this one here. So we had in the 80s, we had the NES, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, ColecoVision, great powerhouses. Really, really, whenever home consoles took off was during this decade. I mean, it's just the facts. It's the foundation of home consoles. I know that there was the 70s with the Atari and stuff, but this to me is whenever it really was like boom. This is not tough. 80s all the way. Sleep it off, GG.
Oh,
All
man.
right, so
Like
we got the
I will say like what Atran said, but since we're only going off of consoles, that's where because he's because they're saying with arcade, that's where I go because I'm looking at the full experience, and that's what I loved about the 80s. Now, granted, I was born in '86, but when I'm looking back on how things were, and I did get to at least to experience the arcade era in some capacity. That whole thing, man, that would have been something that I wish I could have been a fly on the wall for. But since we're just talking about consoles, going back to like what you said, Galaga guy, is if I were to go on an island, what am I taking with me? It's all the stuff from the 2000s.
yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna give it. I'll give it 2 more minutes, and we'll see if what people say. I'm actually a 70s baby. Okay, we're getting to know people here.
There we go.
80s is at 100%. Stop the count. That must have been like the first vote. Let's see here. Well, so far we got 15 votes. We have 22 in the chat, guys. Get the votes in here. You can still turn the tides. It'd be tough, but we can still. Oh, we're getting a little bit of movement here. Getting a little bit of movement. I believe the 80s and 2000s were the best years for console gaming. I also agree with Super Nintendo being one of the best consoles. So maybe we could break it up like they said before, where we should have went like 75 to 85, 85 to 95.
Yeah, there's some weird. Yeah, there's like some weird hybrids in there, man. It does it makes it tough. Like you said, it's like a 5-year window. I mean, that'd be really dicing it up. But if you did 5-year windows, then that might change some things because there was a lot of stuff that happened in just a 5-year window on certain stuff.
Well, if you look at the 90s, you had PS1 in 94, and then Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64 96 and 98. So it's kind of like that'd be a tough split too, because it's like PlayStation is kind of more along the lines of those. I don't know. It's any way you cut it's going to be kind of weird.
Yeah.
But in the 2000s, it makes more sense because PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox were all 2000, 2001, while 360, PS3, and Wii were 2005, 2006. So that's like cut. That one would work, but I don't know. All right, guys, let's end the poll, and we're actually making good time. I didn't know. I was like, man, this is going to be. Can you guys believe it? Can you believe this poll with this crowd of people? All right, we got the 2000s at 28%.
It's all right. Everybody's got their opinion, man.
Yeah,
cool,
1980s are at 72%, making that for us here. The votes are in. The best decade in console gaming is the 1980s. So everything good was made in the 1980s because that's whenever I was made.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
I was made in 86.
So there you go. If you do 1986 to 91, you hit NES, SMS, Genesis, SNES, TG16, which is a major block. Yeah, I'm not surprised by it. I mean, Sega Genesis and the NES, man, it's just they're such powerhouses, and they meant so much to history. It's just like, it's not surprising. It's not surprising. But we have exactly 5 minutes until Late Night Live starts. Before we go, I wanted to give you another shout out here. Let me change this up. Congratulations on the 1980s being the decade for console gaming. Now I may end up doing one of these for the arcades, as far as like the best decade in arcade gaming. I don't think it's going to be much different. I think the 80s is still going to be the best one, but I might do another episode like that. But I want to give you a shout out real quick, guys. If you have not done it yet, please head over to Geeks of Rage, and I know I put it in the chat here before, but let me put it up here again so that way people can find you. Go sub to him. Great stuff he talks about, great videos that he has, great streaming. I mean, there you go. There's Geeks of Rage. Make sure you check out his channel. Do you have anything upcoming that you want to talk about? Anything that you want to bring up? Any videos you have on the back burner?
Yeah, so there's a project I'm working on, which, like I told you, I was going to ask you about it after we were done here. And if you wanted to participate in the first one, technically you still could, because I haven't even gotten the clips back yet from the other gentleman that'll be on it, which is we've all seen all the the nostalgia type shows, right? Like, the one that popped off the top of my head, like the VH1, like the I love the 70s, I love the 80s, the 90s,
Oh,
like
yeah,
those
yeah.
types of shows, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is get people involved. Rather, there's gonna be some people that are either content creators that have nothing to do with retro or geek stuff, some people that aren't even content creators, just people that I know, and then other content creators that I know personally, obviously. And we're gonna have a subject, and then I'm gonna edit it in that way where it's gonna be like it'll flow like one of those shows. That's gonna be like my big project for this year. And we're gonna start with the
Nice.
NES. So, ironically enough, you guys were Jones
Yay!
80s, you know what I mean? So figured
Yes.
what a better way to kick it off than talking about the NES, its inception, and all of our experiences with it, amongst other things. And I'm going to continue doing my list videos, going over my top 5 favorite games through the years since I was born. I already got my quality will get better because I got 86, 87, and 88 done. 86, my editing was still a little shaky. 87, it was better. 88, I mean, I could still be better, but at least with 88, I felt it was more palatable. But I'll continue to do that. And then people by request were wanting to see pickup videos. I didn't know people actually cared that I picked, because I buy movies and TV shows. I figured who would want to watch a pickup video about movies and TV shows, but people were like, why aren't you making videos about it? So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do that too. So
Yeah.
I'll be doing pickup videos again, because I did a few here and there, but not very often. And then obviously for the streams, I'm gonna be trying to get back, because I had done like podcast stuff periodically. I'm gonna try to get back to doing that at least live, at least once a month, to try to keep that.
Nice.
I'm trying to create a schedule so that way people that are subscribed will have an idea of what to expect on what week. So if you're not into watching a gaming stream, well, then maybe the following week you'll be into whatever else. Maybe it's a podcast or something, right? But yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm trying to work on for this year, and hopefully it all comes together, and people that take the time to come check it out enjoy it. And thanks to everybody who did say they subbed. I do appreciate it, and
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy the stuff that's going to be coming out.
Yes, and we did get a $5 super chat here from Jason Little Alien. He says, I think we can all agree on one thing. We need some Tylenol for our backs. Yes, I do need Tylenol for my backs.
Yeah.
Yes, happens often. more often than I thought it would. Even in my upper 30s, I'm like, I'm kind of worried about my 40s now because how bad my back hurts in my 30s.
Yeah, I know. 40's creeping up on me, man. I'm like, oh God, August. Once August hits, I'll be 40.
They said, are you technically a millennial then? I'm a millennial. Are
I'm
you in
technically a
that?
millennial. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I know I've read some things online that there's a lot of people like myself that feel like you, I guess, I don't want to say identify more with Gen X, but I get along better with Gen X people because I was the youngest of 3 in my house. So I was always
Yeah.
around older people. So like a lot of the things I was exposed to, I was, younger, getting exposed to stuff is, from the older lens. So like I have more of an appreciation for certain stuff that's older. Like my don't give a crap attitude at times stems off of all of that, the upbringing from a lot of
Yeah.
the Gen Xers that were around me. Because like when I was like 6, 7 years old, I was around teenagers and stuff like that. So I was you know how it is when you're a kid, you look up to all those teenagers and stuff because you think in your mind they're adults, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, so I was heavily influenced by Gen X for sure.
Well, they said the cutoff for millennials is 1996, as far as like the youngest ones. So this year, the last millennials will be turning 30. So all of us millennials are now 30 and above.
Yeah,
So kind of like we're all adults now, guys. We're all
yeah,
adults now.
I know. It's scary.
It's
Scary
nuts.
times.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I forgot to add in the exit scene. Well, let me add a scene right now. Let me see if it will. I think I've tried this before and it didn't work. Let me see. You guys get to see it. Let's see. Videos. There it is. All right. Before we go all the way out, make sure you check out the drink. Guys, try it out. Let me know next week what you thought of it. And we will see you next time. See ya.